Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
You are welcome to Newsflow TV 247.
Thank you.
Can you have you, sir?
My name is Tunde Gentry.
Okay.
So what else do you want to?
Thank you, sir. That's okay. We have seen a lot of recent in Nigeria. So many protests in Lagos, protests in Kaduna, and Kano, to be precise. So, what do you think? Do you think this protest can bring a solution to Nigeria's problem now?
Protest has never brought solution to problems anywhere. I was telling somebody that when we were in the university, I think, we had protests almost every time. When I was in 300, there was a particular one when I was in 300 level in 1989 that led to the closure of our school for 5 months. In fact, Babangida said he was going to close the schools, some specific schools, including my school, University of Ibadan, for 1 year. But after a lot of pleading and all of that, he reduced it to 5 months. At the end of it, we asked ourselves, okay, after this protest, what exactly did we achieve? And the truth was that we didn't achieve anything. And the one they are doing in Nigeria at this moment is even worrisome because it has escalated into chaos. And that is what happens most of the time. The organizers of the protest might have genuine intentions. The organizers of the protest might have genuine intentions.
Okay.
But how can they be sure that it will not be hijacked? Which is what is happening in Kano, in Kaduna, where people are going on rampage, destroying things and all of that. So most of the time, protests hardly achieve any positive objective.
Let me come in that. Is it the protest that is problem or people that are organizing it? Because I could remember that even people like this our President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Wole Soyinka, I saw a video where Femi Fela, and a lot of them do a protest during Jonathan, and it was conducted, in the manner that we don't see any chaos. They all went to Ojota. Is it the protest that is problematic or people that organize it?
Yes, you see, look at the people you mentioned.
Okay.
Bola Tinubu. As at that time, Tinubu had served as
a governor.
As governor, before serving as governor, he had served as
senator.
As a senator. Before becoming senator, he had reached the height of the corporate ladder. Look at Wole Soyinka. Wole Soyinka is a Nobel laureate. Is a world-class professor. Look at Femi Falana. So look at the caliber of people you talked about that organized that protest. Then secondly, they had a specific agenda that they mentioned. You understand? And they said it. This is what the government did that we think the government should not do. So it is easy to know exactly why they are protesting and to address it.
And we saw the result that time.
Of course.
Jonathan reversed
exactly, because it has only one agenda: reversal of the fuel subsidy removal. Okay. That was the agenda. Is it? But in a situation where they brought out a lot of things
to be addressed at a particular time.
Not possible, and they now call it end bad governance.
Bad governance, and so many things so bad about the government.
When you talk about end bad governance, I do tell people that the last regime that I would say was actually really good for Nigeria after Gowon was Buhari's military regime. And Buhari's military regime was a forceful regime that forced people to do what was right. But if you look at every other government after Gowon, okay, apart from the 6 months of Murtala, look at Obasanjo's military regime, look at Shagari's regime, then Babangida now worsened the whole matter. So there has been bad governance for a long time. If you now put everything together and just say end bad governance, it does not just make sense. And so people now go to the extent of even asking the president, a democratically elected president, to resign. So that another person who lost the election should take over.
That's what I was telling them when we wanted to do the protest. That when you are doing protests, be diplomatic. Don't ask for something that will not warrant shooting you or something impossible, and don't go and carry all the whole problem and put it in one protest. That one cannot work. I do say it many times. They interview me that be diplomatic in your request.
Exactly.
Now let's go to the address of presidents. So many people have criticized that address, that the address does not hold water. It didn't even address what the people are clamoring for. It's more or less like a threat.
Honestly, I don't know what people were. I don't know what people were expecting. I don't know what people were expecting. I watched the address myself. You could say it doesn't address what people were clamoring for, but there is nobody that can give them what they are asking for. What are they? Okay, were they expecting him to say, okay, because of this protest, we are removing, we reversing subsidy, we are reversing forex reform? It is not possible. Now, it is not possible.
Let me ask you this. Don't you think Mr. President should have given it a gap in between removing subsidy and the electricity tariff? Because we are still gasping with the removal of subsidy, then electricity increment just came in. Boom. I think you will also be feeling it because you are in Ogba. Ogba just enter Bandhe. So don't you think they should have given it a space so that people will be?
Is it if you ask me, talking about electricity?
Okay.
Electricity has been a major bane of our development. And I do tell people, one of the major problems we have in electricity that does not allow investors, especially foreign investors, to come into it, is because, is that it is not profitable. That's the truth. It's not profitable. You see, when people talk about, there is 24-hour electricity in Ghana, there is 24-hour electricity in this place, have they asked how much those people pay per unit? Now, it's not only Ogba that
you fall under Bande.
For where I live is in Bande. Where I lived before, because I just moved into a new area in May. Okay. But where I lived before then is also Bande. Now, and I know the situation before I moved to that place. I know how much I was spending on fuel. You understand? To bridge the gap. And even at that, it was not giving me enough services. There are so many things I had I couldn't use with generator. So now I compare the two. Fine, it's a bit biting, paying 200 and something per unit. But when I compare it to the cost of running generator for as long as it's convenient, it is incomparable. Like, I've not used my generator for a long time now. It's there, it's at home. I have fuel there. So maybe if they take the light, maybe for like 1 hour or so, if I'm at home, if there is need, I'll put it on for just like that 1 hour or 2 hours.
People fought this issue of categorizing band A, band B, band. Can't we just have lights all over, and if the tariff will be increased, let's know. But
because the reason why we can't all have it at a go is that investments need to go into production. That's generation, transmission, and distribution. You understand? Now, we don't have enough. We are not even generating enough to start with.
Okay.
Now, presently we are generating about maybe 7,000, 8,000 megawatts. South Africa, that their population is not up to half of the population of Nigeria, is generating 54,000 megawatts.
Wow.
So look at that.
So we don't have enough.
So number one, we are not generating enough. Then even the little we are generating, we are not distributing them properly. Now what they have done is, by categorizing, they first look, if you look at it, they started from the estates. Like I was living in Omole estate then.
Okay.
And we discovered that people in Magodo always had light. And you know, Magodo is elitist, Omole is elitist.
Yes.
And it was the estate, our estate people, that went to meet Ikeja Electric. That look, put us on band-aid. We don't mind paying
for it.
And the truth is, we enjoyed it. We enjoyed it. So since what they have cannot go around at a go, okay, let's first of all give
people that want to consume
people
it.
that are ready to pay for it. Thereby, from the money they are now generating, then they can begin to
extend,
put investment. And you see, if we are going to enjoy 24-hour power supply, we must be ready to pay for it. It's as simple as that. Before I went on Badi, I was arguing with I was discussing with some of our people here that, look, we must be ready to pay for it. Especially if you have a business that requires light every time. I have a friend who is a barber, just down here. Anytime he wants to walk, there must be light. So there is no two-way about it. So if he opens for 10 hours, he needs to have light for those 10 hours. Now, if he runs generator for 10 hours, how much will he spend? And if he's on band A for 10 hours, how much will he spend? Do the comparison.
Let's go to part of what brought people out for protest is hunger in the land. Let's talk about the hunger. If you are in Mr. President position, what would you have done? Because people is hunger there, hunger here, hunger there. The inflation in the price of food commodity.
Before we go to Mr. President,
okay,
let's ask ourselves, what are we doing as individuals to combat hunger? Is it there will be hunger when there is no food? And there will be no food when people are not cultivating? I'm an Ekiti boy. I grew up in Ekiti. The land is fertile. So also the rest of the entire southwest. Our land is fertile. Now, how many people are going to the farms now? If you go to the market now, it's only the Hausa tomato you will see. It's only the Hausa pepper you will see.
Very, very unfortunate.
You understand?
In southwest here.
Yes. If you go anywhere in the southwest, put anything in the soil, it will grow. But nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to plant anything. Even people that have land at the back of their houses, nobody. Why we are not planting? And we now rely entirely on food that comes from the north. So if the north people refuse to bring food, then we won't eat.
But unfortunately, even from the north too, they are crying of hunger. I think maybe because of insecurity in that place, and sometimes insecurity in the south here. I think that's where it concerns government to come in to combat the insecurity.
I'm coming to that. But even with the level of insecurity, like your own hometown, for instance, you cannot say that every part of the farmland in that place is insecure. You understand? It is not every part. It is not every part of that place that is insecure. The truth of the matter, the insecurity issue is there. Agreed. But the truth of the matter is our people have become lethargic when it comes to agriculture.
I agree with you on that, because before we even have security threats, people have
refused
to go to farm. Unfortunately, when there is security threats, they kukuma abandon everything.
Exactly. Now let me give you a scenario. I have a cousin here who is is a lawyer and is a successful lawyer. There was a time he went home. He wanted to encourage the young people to go into oil palm production, and he was ready to back them up financially. You know what they said? one of my, my younger brother was telling me that they said, did he make his own money from oil palm? He's a millionaire and he's now telling people to go and be doing oil palm. You understand? Now, I now ask my younger brother, I say, are they all lawyers like him?
Abi?
And even if they are all lawyers, is it all lawyers that will be as successful as he is? You understand? So, at the end of the day, what did the guy do? He forget about the whole thing. Now, imagine the number of people that project would have helped. And when you do an oil palm